Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the Minnesota Vikings, led by their new quarterback Kirk Cousins, take on Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And last week they put together a 3-touchdown victory and were never challenged in that game. Let's see if they have a little bit of a letdown here.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
It's a pretty bland game he had last time out. Ended up throwing 1 interception. Didn't have a touchdown to offset it. But the team found a way to win. He found a way to lean on other parts of the offense that carried them through.
Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. Tackle made by Ziggy Ansah.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, here's Cousins. And incomplete. The contact made the ball run free and brings up 4th down.
I will see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
Fielded at the 20. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Lions will take over. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. This is the newest member of the Lion backfield, LeGarrette Blount. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Off of play action, here's Stafford. He hits his target. It's the tight end, Toilolo. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And yes, he found Toilolo.
taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Here now the starters defensively for the Vikings. They really played well in that win last week against Miami.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They go play action here on 1st down. This throws right around the 6. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one goes for 24 yards. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll go to Blunt, try and pound it in. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of 1, and that is going to set up 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Hey, go here! Hey, tag 50 left!
Now Stafford on 3rd and goal. And he will not get away. He's sacked back around the 3-yard line. Anthony Barr able to get him down behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance, as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now, to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
And the numbers for Latavius Murray last time out. 23 carries, 79 yards.
In a perfect world, they'd run the ball the same way they did last week, but against the #1 rush defense in the league, they're going to have to find a different way to move the ball. Maybe they start throwing it early and come back to the run.
That was 2nd down run for Murray. And an alley to run. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give them 12 yards on that one. It earns them a fresh set of downs.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. On first down, Murray. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it indeed. Here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
The penalty moves him into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Following the penalty, it's Murray. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And they're going to get it. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
We're going to talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
Now a 1st down throw. Stafford. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Anthony Barr in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out.
Hey, 58 is down. 58 is down. QB attack, 57, ready?
Out of the gun, Stafford. And he's got his tight end. This is Luke Wilson. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Stafford. They're able to locate Wilson. Wilson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
53. Big 20.
Stafford on first down. Caught on the right side by Jones. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Rolling to his right, and his throw's going to be incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And, partner, I'm going to make a quick pivot here and ask you to play general manager. It's well documented they're last in the league in offense, number 32. What changes might they make?
And this is where you have to be almost like a chess master as a general manager, because you have a few things at your disposal that you need to use. Obviously, the draft.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. A good first down call as the screenplay gets him 9.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. A shotgun snap for Stafford. The quick slant caught. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
Well, they were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
On second down, here's Stafford. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. In for the score. And the Lions are in for 6. Now Matt Prater for the point after.
And that's exactly what you're supposed to do with good field position. You make the other side pay when you don't have far to go for the score.
Prater for the extra point. And the lead is now 10-3. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. He was brought down by Devon Kennard.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Vikings first down. Diggs able to find his way free and get the catch from Cousins.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
The false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Now a play fake here on first down. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there, a 22. Cousins now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. To the air again, it's Cousins. Incomplete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when and told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to.
Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Christian Jones in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Carlson able to put this one through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because you know after the sack there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. A first scoring update now from Carolina. And it's the NFC champs, the Falcons, that have moved out to an early advantage. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one. And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen. And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Cousins on 1st down. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. First down, here's Cousins. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Working out of the gun, Cousins. He finds Latavius Murray. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. The kick by Carlson is good. And that gets him back within a single point. It's now 10-9. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
So a very tight first half. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. Jamal Agnew now to return it. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. Incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
To throw on 3rd down. Stafford flushed out right. It's caught. Jones. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Linval Joseph in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. They'll run it now out of the guns. Flash the stick skills on that run, but then stop shy of the 35. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 3rd down, Stafford. And this is going to be incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job to look.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
Those really long field goals, when they are made, they are things of beauty, but there is a danger to getting them started, isn't there?
Yeah, with that low drive, you've got to really keep it low to the ground, don't you, to get that distance.
Yeah, hard to just pop it up in the air because otherwise it's not going to get there. So he's got to drive it low in order to have the distance, and that usually puts it in jeopardy, gives him a chance to block it, and everyone knows it on the other side. That's when you get your best jumpers on the other side of the field and try and get up and get it.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. Now a give. This is Murray. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding. Offense.
Would have put him in the lead, but hold that thought.
Yeah, the celebration had to stop, didn't it? Because now you're on a real uptick. You're in the lead. Instead, you're still behind. Have to find a way to regroup.
Again, it's Murray. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Coming into the week, he's the NFL's leader in receiving yards. There's his first catch, and it's good for a first down.
He gets his first catch there, but all in all, when you're talking about the #1 receiver in the NFL coming into this game, and we're just talking about the first catch there, I think they're doing a nice job of bottling him up.
And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
Well, you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
They'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now Cousins, and that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Another drive bogs down, but for the fourth time, they're able to escape with 3 points.
And this last one gives them the lead, so that's a good thing. And they've needed every one of these field goals, but it has to feel good to them to know the confidence is there. If we do bog down, they'll give us 3 points.
And a very good return, but a penalty marker is down.
Personal foul.
I'm not sure what this is going to be.
Defense.
So that one will be accepted.
Automatic first down.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. 1st and 10 out near midfield. To throw is Stafford. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
And he's got some space here. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
They go back to Murray on first down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Carries piling up. It's Murray again. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. 3rd and short yardage. Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
Oh, they stopped him shy of the marker, thought they were bringing up 4th down, and then that penalty.
Let's face it, they thought they had bent, but could absorb that, right? Instead, they broke as a result of their own penalty.
They come out here in the eye. And they let the fullback try and take him home. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. It's the fullback. His first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and they're going to face a third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Throwing on third down, Stafford out to the flat for Reddick. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They give him 12 yards and a first down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
You got four. You got four. Hey, go here. Check the call. 21.
On first down, it's Stafford. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
To throw on second down is Stafford. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Stephen Weatherly in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That's sacks on back-to-back plays. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a third and long situation. From the gun, here's Stafford. And the pressure gets to him again. And Stafford's in some pain apparently. Yet to arise following the play. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll punt it away for the second time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. Latavius Murray getting set to go again. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, 4 in the game.
Yeah, about 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. On second down, Cousins again. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and all of a sudden here, it's third down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
The Vikings on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, here's Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Schmidt on the punt as he sends it away. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And Detroit getting set to go now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line.
No, check, Patriot!
Now Rennan, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. The tackle made there by Linval Joseph. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. That'll put him at 96 yards receiving now for the game, and he's got a first down as well.
And the key number on that play, 3. Third play of the drive, 3rd down. Spectacular catch turns into a first down.
First down saves him from a 3-and-out. Over the middle, complete. It's Jones. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. To throw is Anderson. Operating from the gun. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Anderson. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. So, 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
Lucky 56. Gone.
Here's Anderson. Going to throw again. Forced out to his left. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This will be 3rd and 5.
Let's go.
From the gun, Anderson eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big time play.
And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Anderson now throwing again. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to T.J. Jones that time. And it's 3rd down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. They go play action here on 1st down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jones. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
Xavier Rhodes makes the tackle. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
All right, now, look at 56. Look at 56.
Operating from the gun, Anderson steps away to his left. Anderson a 1st down and more. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. Now Anderson from the gun, he'll throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Luke Wilson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough 1st downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
They go play action. Cousins. And Rudolph has it left side. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They'll run the counter with Murray. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with 1 more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
12 yards on the return that time, and out will come the offense as they take over. So out now come the Lions. Things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Anderson looking to throw on second down. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. 23 yards on the play.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
On 1st and 10, Anderson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Kenny Golladay is intended receiver. And it's second down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. I guess they're in a situation now, fourth quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted, and if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Now, he's been a busy man out of the backfield. They've looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
You mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man on him now in space.
And this kick is not going to get there. It's short and no good. Well, and it's his third missed field goal of the game, much to the displeasure of this home crowd, some of whom are heading for the turnstiles.
And unfortunately for him, he'll be a hot topic of discussion on talk radio in the week ahead. But I think this goes beyond him. This has really not been the greatest of performances from the top to the bottom.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. And complete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph. And now a timeout taken here defensively with 2:07 remaining. So they'll also have the stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. A handoff. It's Murray. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. A 20th carry coming up now for Murray. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble. So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Carlson able to put this one through. And that will push the lead up to 5. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Meanwhile, in Nashville, they're on to the fourth quarter now. And the Titans dominant. They have added to their totals in that one. Another victory perhaps in the cards. They're looking as good as anybody as the playoffs draw near. They'll look to throw. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 23 yards on the play. And now he stops it with a spike at 8 seconds. Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep. And this is taken in at the 5. Oh, and the big play's going to get even bigger as penalty flags are down, and I believe they're going to get a face mask penalty tacked on.
Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want. Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays. And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
All right, now, lucky 56, lucky 56.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
Brandon, you know I love boxing, right? You know I love big fights, right? I had given them the standing 8 count a few times along the way. And look at how this one ended.
Yeah, they had, well, I guess 9 lives, just like a cat, kept fighting, and they're in the end making the huge play to get the game winner.
I guess that's the epitome of you always have a puncher's chance.
You still have to try the extra point, so this is not a done deal yet. Extra point good by Prater. And the lead is now 2. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Lions, it's a big win here as they move to 11-4 now in the year. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the slide continues as they drop now to 3-12. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.